Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Xbox Live episode 490. I am, sorry. Let me restart that. You can tell I've been gone a while. Hello, and welcome to this Xbox Live episode 490, Moving Vacation. I am one of the hosts, Mark, aka Wingman709, and with me today is an empty chair. Hey, thank you, empty chair. So glad you could be here. That empty chair belongs to GunnyChief from Horrible Gamers Podcast. And in just a quick minute, I'm going to get Rob, also known as Presar, to jump into the call. So you're going to hear that, and you're going to hear him get on going, oh, I'm so sorry I'm late, and make up a million excuses. And then I'm going to have to mess with the show video and all that crazy stuff because of Rob being late makes my job harder. So now I get to play around with cameras and all sorts of stuff. So, Rob, are you there?
Hey, Rob.
Hello.
Hello.
I hear him. We don't see him. Hey, Henley's back. Woo!
Hello.
Hey.
Does this work?
It works, Rob, but your camera's off. And we are live.
Welcome.
Oh, it's all kinds of fun. So there he is. Yay, there's Rob.
Yay.
What's up, Rob?
Skype is saving settings. It may take a few minutes.
What is the software that you use, Rob, for recording that I would have to use?
What?
The recording software. I know you use it off of Google Chrome. Or do you use my audio directly from Skype?
I use everything from Skype.
Okay.
So I just rip it from Mark.
Got it.
Wow, this is gonna be fun tonight, people. I tell you that. So apologize for Rob's lateness, but if you notice, he's got a new background, and he's got a very good reason for a new background.
I was rushing to actually set everything up for the show, but apparently I didn't make it.
You did not.
I still have cords. My computer is about 60% set up.
So, anyways, Rob moved. And of course the title's Moving Vacation. So Rob got to move over the last 2 weeks. I went on vacation the last 2 weeks and just got home last night and kind of out of it and really don't. This is going to be a weird show because it's like, okay, what do I do? What did we do? How do I make things run?
Which show is this?
What are we even talking about? But anywho, episode 490, we are here, we are live, and we've got GunnyChief from Horrible Gamers Podcast joining us. So, welcome, Gunny.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back.
You can listen to us live on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube Sundays at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. So, we'll jump into it. This could be a very short segment. But, Rob, what have you played over the last 2 weeks?
Oh, a bunch of stuff. So I've played U-Haul. I've played Moving, which gets a double thumbs down. And I just haven't done anything fun. Well, I take that back. To keep my sanity, I played some Clash Royale, and that's about it. Not much else. I actually just took all 3 Xboxes out of their boxes today, out of the moving boxes today. And as I finally got to those boxes, and I'll be getting those set up probably in the next week.
That should have been the first thing, sir.
You know,
might have to dock you some achievement points just for not pulling it out first thing.
So, well, my whole moving thing, it sort of sprung up on me about 3 weeks ago. So I started keeping like really good track of what was where in which boxes. I had this whole like labeling scheme. I had a notebook that listed like what was in each box. So I had some idea, that lasted for like the first day. And
Yeah.
then everything else just went into boxes. Some were like even unlabeled. They're like mystery boxes. I have no idea even what's in them. And at this point, I'll just be happy to find the box with the underwear because I still haven't found that one yet.
That's an important one,
But
my friend. That is very important.
yeah.
But remember, you can always flip them inside out. They are double-sided. A lot of people don't realize that they
True.
do have two
That's
sides.
I'm always thinking,
I
Mark.
know,
Good job. Good job.
Make use of the material you have. Why only use one side? I don't
Yeah.
get it. So, all right. I'm going to go next because I think Henley's going to have a lot more to talk about and make this section fun. But outside of playing Minivan Simulator over the last 2 weeks, I should figure it out. I've driven well over. Of course, I know Gunny's going to be like, I do that in a day, but I think I put on over 3,000 miles in the last 2
Wow.
weeks. Yeah, it was a lot of driving. We were actually on vacation for 13 days, and I was driving 5 of those days.
Okay.
The shortest day that I drove, I think, was yesterday driving home, and we clocked in right at 12 hours. So
Wow.
every day it was between like 12 to 16 hours each day that we were driving. So I'm wiped, man. I came home last night. We got home at like 7:00, and at 9, I was crawling into bed, and I slept till like 6:30 this morning, and it was just like, oh, I felt great. I slept great, but now it's like I'm ready to go back to bed. I'm so tired right
So
now.
wait, did you say you got home at 7?
7:00.
Is that right? And you got into bed at 9. So it took you 2 hours to crawl up the stairs. You were tired.
Well, I had to play with my dog. I missed him so badly. So I had to play with my dog, and we had to eat dinner.
Dogs, right?
My dog. I had to play with my dog. Only have one. So
Oh,
he may
okay.
make an appearance. No, he shouldn't. I closed the door. But he's been at my side pretty much since we've been home.
Oh, I think I missed
I didn't
something.
know that you had driven out there.
We
It
drove.
always
Yeah, so I drove we left here like 2 weeks ago tomorrow. We drove from the Seattle area went down to Utah, visit my wife's dad and brother for a week. Then we drove up to South Dakota. We spent a day there to tour. That was kind of this was really visiting sick family vacation. It was just, that's what this one was about mainly. But we did have a day in Rapid City, South Dakota, where we spent the day going to Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse, driving Needles Highway, seeing the little chapel in the hills. Just had a lot of fun. It was really a fun day. Beautiful area. And then we spent the next day driving up to North Dakota to see my family, and spent the next 4 days there, and then took 2 days to get back home. So, yeah, lots of driving.
that is quite a bit.
So, but the only thing I played in that 2 week time span was I did install. I took my Surface tablet and actually used it once, and it was like the first day, and I played Fallout Shelter on it because my game on my Xbox like crosses over and it's available on
Nice.
Windows 10, and I was like, cool, and never touched it again.
Does Gems
Never
of
even
War
broke
not
it out.
cross over?
Did the what?
Does Gems of War not cross over to your
It does
Surface?
not. There's not a Windows 10 version.
Yeah.
But I didn't open it just because I was so exhausted and so tired that the only thing I played was Clash Royale. I played that, I think, every day. And a new game that actually my mother introduced my kids to, and they introduced me to, is called a game called Trivia Crack. And
Oh, that one.
dude, I got the wife, all 3 kids, and myself are playing, and they're playing with their grandma, and lots of it's just, yeah, Trivia Crack. And I got a note today. I ranked #1 this week in the leaderboard. I'm trying to figure out like what leaderboard. It must be like just my friends, but it didn't say. It just said congratulations, you ranked #1 this week in the weekly leaderboard. So
Leaderboard of 1.
yeah. So
Hey, number one's number one, no matter
that's
what,
right.
right?
That's right. So, but I think it's probably just like within your friends list. That's I would imagine because I didn't play it that much, but we did play a lot of Trivia Crack. It's fun, and my kids enjoy it, and my wife enjoys it, even though she's not a gamer. And we had this discussion again this morning.
Oh,
She was
that.
like, "Well, I only played." She's like, "No, I don't. I'm not a gamer. I'm not a video gamer." I'm like, "Wait a minute. You play Trivia Crack. You play." I don't know. There's a bunch of other games that she plays on her iPad and on her iPhone, but she's not a video gamer.
Wink, wink.
Does
Right.
she consider herself a mobile gamer, at least?
No, she's like, I play a board game now and then. And I'm like, well, then you're still a gamer.
Yeah.
Like, but she won't admit it. So yeah,
Denial.
those are the only two games I really played this week was Clash Royale and Trivia Crack. But hopefully I can get some time on the Xbox this week because I miss my baby. I actually booted her up right before the show, and it's like I can tell I got an update because all the pins or the groupings are all jacked up and gone again. I'm not really happy with that grouping because it doesn't work. So, but
Yeah.
every time they update it, it's like, oh, this group no longer exists. Why not? Like, why? Why do they delete the groups every time? So
I haven't had that happen, and since I game share with one of my co-hosts, I believe I'm now in the alpha program because I have those groups in it. It's updated, but it's kept all the groups for what I have
yeah, and
on the
maybe
Xbox.
I'm wondering if it's because I have two Xboxes in the program, and I don't know. Like maybe I've created the group on the other Xbox, and I don't know. It still should all be in the cloud, because I believe if I go because the July update's now out, so everyone should have this or should be getting this. So even on my original Xbox that's not in the program, if I boot it up and take any updates, it should have those groups as well. And that should all translate through the cloud regardless. So
Yes.
I don't know. It might just be unique because I got two systems on the program. And maybe if I created one somewhere and it doesn't cross
It's-
over, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's probably just syncing with the other one, thinking, "Hey, there's no groups on this Xbox. Let me sync it to the way it was on this one."
Yeah, I have no idea. So I probably just need to do like pick one of them, like my X, and leave and just have him do. Oh, actually, the X isn't in the program, is it? No, yeah, it is. I don't know. I'm tired. I see groups on it though, so I thought it was just the S in my original that I had in the program, but I'll have to double check.
I gotta say, with the update, I think there's two things that are probably one of my favorites is the groups, and then I don't know how long it's been on there, but it has on the home screen you have Y for search,
Yes.
and you can search for anything. Comes in handy.
Yeah, that is nice. I just got to remember to use it. In fact, I started the other day. I was like, oh, let me go over. Oh, wait a minute. I can just hit Y no matter where I'm at. So I hit that. I actually went back to the home screen and then hit Y because I was headed to the store. And I actually let me go back. Went back to home, hit Y, boom, searched for a game. There it was. So super nice feature.
Yeah.
I think Rob fell asleep.
No.
Wake up, Rob.
I'm trying to figure out this Trivia Crack stuff.
And my kids are let me give you a quick, not to go back onto mobile gaming. I know we need to get into Xbox, but my kids are upset that there it is, that I bought the game. So I bought the ad-free version, and that actually they didn't like that because they were able to watch ads to get more coins or hearts or
Yeah.
something like that. And I'm like, I watched one of the ads that they were watching. They were showing me the game. And I was like, that's not necessarily an appropriate ad for my young
no.
daughter. But then they're complaining, I can't watch ads anymore. I'm like, who wants to watch ads? But it gave them extra life or something. So,
Yeah.
Anywho, but Henley,
Yes.
what have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Xbox games lately.
Oh, we can't
Lucky
have that
you.
on this show.
I know. I thought, what a better opportunity. I've been playing.
I'm jealous, and you know what? I'm jealous that it's still light outside by you.
Yeah, California time. So I've got probably 40 minutes of light left.
There you go,
here.
Rob.
Oh,
Being so close to the ocean too. But I did play State of Decay 2. I think I started a playthrough on 4th of July. And actually, because my previous playthrough, I somehow just didn't know. I had played State of Decay 1, but I think going into State of Decay 2, I wasn't exactly sure. I was really rusty on just exactly how to get as many community members as I wanted. And so I ended up down to like 2 people. I thought, oh man, I'm not going to continue on with this playthrough. So deleted that, started a new playthrough. And yeah, I feel like I've got a better place of where I start. And I'm able to find more vehicles. I don't know if they just added more vehicles to it. But yeah, I'm finding a lot more resources and just figuring things out. More to the game to help me, progress further. And yeah, I downloaded the latest Independence pack. I think it was like $4.50.
Okay.
And yeah, you get you get some weapons. I haven't actually called in for any of the weapons drops, but I think it drops like certain packs. Like one of them it'll have like some fireworks. I forgot what the other ones were, but they were like something to attract the zombies to your location. And the other one which was pretty cool, was you can actually put, like when you're driving in your car, and if you want to use the horn button, it'll drop this big chunk of meat out the back, and then the zombies go after that.
Nice.
It's pretty funny. I was like, okay, good. Especially if I have one of those, the zombies go after that.
Nice.
It's pretty funny. I was like, I was hearing myself there for a second.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the big ones. I want to call them bulkers, but I'll think of it in a minute. But they're the big giant ones that you could just takes forever to take down. But I've been avoiding those things at all costs. So, and I haven't had any come up to my base yet, and I'm probably about 6 hours into that one. And one of the things I find that it's a lot easier is once I go to a community and they're like, hey, help us, give us a bag of food, or take us over here to, find this one item that we're looking for. And then once you get them on your list of where they're neutral, I think, or they have to be friendly, then you can go in and recruit them. So I'm not exactly sure, like at one point I was able to recruit all of them, and they were all just kind of ran towards my base. Because if you have a follower with you and you go to a base, and it'll give you the option to enlist that friendly survivor, but they won't follow you if you could only have one follower at a time. So I kind of feel like it forces me to go out by myself and do that. But having another survivor with you will, help you if you're going to like take out a zombie plague or something like that. But yeah, I'm definitely having fun with it. So going to continue playing it. Not sure how far you've made it, Mark, if you've been playing this at all.
It's been a while. I really liked it to begin with, but I don't know, it seemed to have ramped up and got really hard really fast. And like I can't keep my people alive, and I ended up like having more fun in co-op, but it's like if your people aren't healthy at your own base, like your own people, then you can't bring them into a co-op game. It's like all that crosses over, and it's like and I didn't like the fact that you had to leave a co-op game to go get a different character if that character got too tired, and if the person's game you were in, they didn't have the resources to heal up and stuff like that. You had to go back to your own game, and like this just kind of blows. So
yeah,
but
I think that's part of the the difficulty, or I don't know, part of the game where Yeah, I found that too, where I'm like, how long have I had this person? Okay, they're going to be getting real tired real soon. So I may want to go trade them in to take over another person so that I can go out and take care of the task that I want to do, whether it's getting food or medicine or completing a mission,
Right.
because you're earning these different. I even forgot what they're called, points or stars or something like that. Reputation, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, reputation.
And yeah, so one of the things I did at this first base was it kind of gives you in the top left hand part of the screen where it'll say build a garden. But I think that's optional. I think you can kind of do what you want because I thought, oh, maybe this game I have to build a garden. So I went and built a garden. But before that, I had a watchtower in front. And I've only got 3 spots in the whole base. And of course, I'm like, duh, I have to have a medical place to, to create medicine and, things like that. But it kind of hurt me in the long run because I'm like, hey, this will only produce one food per day, and that's just everybody's going to starve to death with just one portion of food or something.
Right.
Because I found that my weapons, I'm like, wait a minute, I can't make any silencers. I can't destroy, or repair my weapons for that matter. It's like you don't have a workshop. That's like, oh geez. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's
like,
another thing. If you got one in your game and your person you're playing with doesn't have one, you got to go back to repair all that stuff too. It's like so
right. So it's probably better to say, hey, what do you do have the you have the ammo station, you've got the water collector. There's just so many different. It only gives you so many choices. So,
right.
I don't recommend a garden unless you do have a bigger base. So don't pay attention to the top left portion of the screen where it's suggesting these things. But yeah, I'm learning as I go. So one of the things I'm pretty happy about is being able to go out and gather food. I think that was one of the reasons, like these people that once they get down to the depressed level and they're like, hey, we're gonna leave, there's just not enough food here. In my mind I'm thinking, go ahead, get out of here, I don't need you.
One less mouth to feed.
Thank you. But other than that, I'm like, no, I want to keep these survivors,
Yeah.
I want to keep as many as possible. But yeah, I like the base management type games like that. So I'm going to continue playing, see how far I can get in this one and find a bigger base. So I'm excited to actually do that. Go and get a bigger base. Yeah.
Now, did you pay for the game or did you get this via Game Pass?
Via Game Pass.
Okay.
So I did wait patiently for that. So the other thing I played,
well, it was day and date, so you didn't have to really wait.
I thought it was. I remember you talking about, oh, you can play the 3 days early if you buy this edition, which I think is going to be with any Xbox exclusive game.
Well,
right?
They've been doing that a lot with games. Like if you pre-order certain bundles, you get them like the Friday before the Tuesday release date. So, but the normal release date was that Tuesday, and we all got it. So
yes. So yeah, I did wait until I think because I start work on Tuesdays, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play this. I think I played it Wednesday or Thursday, so I'm like, I'm so glad I waited, and didn't pay for it. Thank you, Game Pass.
yeah.
But the next one I played was last night was with my co-host Jesus Walks a Lot, and that's Halo 5. That is a tough game for for me not being into shooters as much, especially something that's they do competitions with. I think yeah, there's a lot of different weapons in that game because one of the thing we had 6 people in our group, and we played some custom miserably in it, but one of them was, I think it's 6v6, and each time you die, you start off with 2 new weapons again. So you can have 2 pistols, or it can be a pistol and a rocket launcher. It's just totally random. But I think I found that pretty fun because like whoever got the sword or whoever got the hammer. But yeah, I'll definitely go back to that where we as the Horrible Gamers group are doing a Saturday night Halo night. So yeah, that's been pretty fun. But and I also played oh geez, now I forgot the name of it, but it's Griff Ball, I think it's called.
That sounds right.
Yeah, so that was the first time I ever played Griff Ball. I didn't play that in Halo 3, or maybe it wasn't around until later, but that was pretty fun because one of the things that Jesus kept yelling at me because I didn't know that you can actually kill your teammate with the hammer. And I was like, oh, sorry, Jesus, I was just, testing it out. But I think I killed him twice with the hammer and I didn't even know it. So, but yeah, once not even 5 minutes in, I was like, I'm kind of getting this. I'm kind of getting this mode. But it was, that was pretty cool because you just get a lot of laughs out of that. Just trying to score a goal. But
Yeah.
looks like a basketball court, but you've got this ball that you hold on to, and while you've got the ball, you can't shoot with the hammer. You just have to try to make it to the other side and score. So,
cool.
But yeah, I think we did that in a custom game in a private match. So that was cool. We just all, being that everybody knows everybody, it just made it that more fun. So, also played. I saw you playing this, Mark. It's called Danger Zone.
Oh yeah, I bid on that one. Yeah.
And this is from those guys from Criterion Games who did the Crash games. But yeah, so it was on sale. I think it was like $12-13, and I thought, oh, it's a perfect time to pick this up.
Yep.
Just from the reviews that I saw. So that first part that you first start out in, it's like, okay, you have to reach. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but I think you have to reach $5,000 in order to advance to the next map or area or sequence, whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, there's like a bronze, silver, and a gold level. I think if you get the bronze, then you can advance to the next track or crash area.
That's what it is, and I think each medal is by,
a dollar amount of how much damage you do.
Yeah, so I couldn't even get past like the first area, I think it was, and I was like, what is going on? This game, I thought this was going to be like super easy until maybe this, till I get to like level 2 or whatever it's called. But the one of the things is like when you're just going down the track, I thought, oh, there's nothing to this game as far as you're just right trigger on the gas, on the accelerator, and it's just a matter of how you crash into those vehicles that once you cause 5 wrecks, I think it is, and you can press B to explode to get to the next area. But I think that's what I was doing wrong at first. And I just was not having fun with this game at all.
The very first track is kind of deceiving because you start out the gate and there's a crossroad and there's a couple of vehicles going. You kind of want to get them to crash, but you don't want to crash into them. So you have to kind of slow down and let the first cars go past and then go past them. And you go down to the second intersection and there's a ton of traffic there. And that's where you want to create your crash, because then there's a lot more cars. And then as you crash more, when you first hit them, you smash there and you sit there until you do so much damage or you crash so many cars and you get the smash breaker. You hit the B button, you explode, and you can kind of control the direction where your car goes. And I think I don't know if this is the one that had the buses at the end, but you can go into the buses and try to smash them. And then if you get another breaker, there's also, as you advance in the levels, you'll see like power-ups, and you'll see other like crash breakers. You'll see bronze, silver, and gold medals, and you get more points if you can take those out. And so there's more stuff that comes as you proceed. But I'm pretty sure on that very first level, avoid the very first intersection, go to the second one, because I think it's even the title of it's like something about the second intersection or something. So
yeah,
even in the title, so it's kind of tricky, and I think it's kind of dirty to put that out right off the bat.
Right.
But so if you skip that first one, then you should be able to rank up. You'll see some big cash damage going at the second intersection and easily advance to the next level. So
and I think I did figure that out after the third time I had to retry. And I thought, wait a minute, there's something. Hold on a minute. Okay, I see the break in traffic because I did see the cars ahead.
Right.
But I thought I should have just saw the break. Yeah, okay. But I thought, well, wait a minute. What about this traffic that's here initially? I know what you're saying now because even Ryan, my co-host on the Horrible Gamer, said, "Hey, you're supposed to like kind of make them crash, but not hit them because
Right.
once you hit them, your car's
You're
like
done.
it's not gonna. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're almost done. You're just not gonna be able to accelerate or move the vehicle
Right.
until you've reached enough crashes to explode." So
Yeah, and if you kind of time it right, you'll hear more cars coming. And if you go past them, like in front of them, then you'll hear them brake squealing and crashing behind you. So it'll get that meter started. But yeah, you don't want to touch them. You touch anything, then you're done. So,
yeah.
but and then you got to hope for a smash breaker. So, but it's fun. My youngest kid loves that game. He thinks that's just the coolest thing. So.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was playing it this evening before we started the show, and yeah, I'm definitely having more fun with it. And I also noticed that one of the things I found myself doing was, hey, on that first run that I did on, my fifth, I'll just call them sequences. On my fifth one, oh, there's actually a third line of cars. Okay, I did get the bronze, but you know what? I'm gonna keep trying
Yeah.
to cause a wreck at the third one. So I'm trying to figure out without going to YouTube or any kind of help videos. I'm gonna try and figure this out on my own.
Yeah, there's one
So
too you'll get to, like there's a highway and then it's got a break. It's like a raised highway, and then there's a break, and then there's traffic going the other way. So it's like you got to hit and damage enough the first one to get a smash breaker, and then you got to try to hopefully get over to the other lane on the other side of the gap, and then it causes. And then if you watch the opening sequence, like before you start playing, it does that like bird's eye view, camera view of the area, so you can kind of see where stuff is at. And then there's actually like below, if you keep going to the right, then there's lower platforms with like a bunch of vehicles just sitting there. So you want to smash break down to them, and then hopefully you can smash break over to another platform. So yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of fun, and once you get kind of that taste for it, and you're like, oh, I got the bronze. Okay, now I want that silver, and now I want that gold.
that's what I find
So-
myself doing. I'm like, you know what? Can I just get to silver? I'll be content. At least on I don't want to do that on every map. At least get to that. If I get a gold, hey, that's even better. But
Yeah,
I don't think I've reached a silver yet. So I think some of it is by chance, by luck, I would say.
yeah,
But yeah, it's fun doing
it's fun.
trying to
It's
get those challenges.
not the greatest game in the world. So we'll state that out at the beginning. This
Yeah.
is not the best game ever, but it is a fun game to play. And it's good too. Like this is like goes back to where like my wife and I used to play Burnout back on the original Xbox, and we would sit and just hand the controller back and forth. You know, she would play till she got the high score. When she did more damage than I did, then she'd hand it back, and I'd just keep replaying until I busted her score. And we did that going back and forth. And I was doing that with my kids the other day, kind of going around. We were all sitting out there. All four of us were out there on the couch. Everyone was going around. When you get more people like that, then it's probably best to you get two chances and then move on. 'Cause
Yeah.
somebody might be sitting there for a long time trying to reach your score, and then everyone else gets bored. But it's a fun little couch co-op or a couch competition game like that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Then they're coming out with Crash 2 here I think next week, actually.
really, okay,
I think Ryan had mentioned next week Crash 2 comes out. I don't know the exact date, but I don't know if it's this coming Tuesday or the following. But yeah, other than that, I played Frostpunk. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this on the Horrible Gamers. But yeah, and I see this on the Windows 10 store. So that would lead me to believe it's going to be out on Xbox soon, I hope. I feel like it's a good game. It's like Surviving Mars. I know that's another
right.
game Jesus talks about, but I wouldn't say it's like a City Skylines thing. That's different, but This one is you start off with a generator in the middle, and it's the snow apocalypse. And everybody from London has kind of ventured to this area that looks like the North Pole. And yeah, you start out and you have to gather coal for for the for the furnace, the generator, and gather wood. And you start off with 80 people, and uh, it does kind of give you choices at first, like, hey, do you want to have? We have kids. Do you want to have those kids work to do certain jobs, like work in the kitchen and gather wood, things like that? And what happens is if you say yes to that, then you have a meter that shows discontent, and that meter, like once it fills up all the way, the game is over.
Uh-oh.
Um,
Sorry.
and the other one is the other bar that you have below that is called hope, and you want to keep that bar up as high as possible by the choices that you make. So, yeah, one of the other things is part of the game is you build tents to keep all the people housed, because you don't want them homeless. They will freeze to death, because not even after like the first 3 days the temperature will be down to like 40 below zero or something like that. Bone chilling cold. But yeah, there's other things that you will do, like you'll make hospitals, places to eat. I forget what those are called, but eating places. The other ones are like the hunting tents. So you want to go hunt for raw food. So there's a lot of management like that as to you know how many people you want to send to these different areas for work. And I think one of the things that's difficult about it is, like, everybody's always starving or always cold, so you're constantly having to manage those things. But yeah, certainly the choices that it gives you in what they call the book of laws is quite interesting, because it'll say things like, hey, do you want to keep these people that are injured in care hospitals, or have them be amputees or something like that. So it gives you a lot of hard choices. One of the other ones is like, do you want to put sawdust in their soup to make them feel more fuller? Yeah, like, ouch, I don't know if I want to do that. But so I've tried to avoid doing that, because I'm like, that just sounds terrible. So yeah. But you will send scouts out to look for other survivors, and sometimes you'll find resources, and you'll say, okay, bring those resources back, whether they be wood or coal, or metal, because I think those are like the three basic things, and food as well. So I feel like it's a fairly straightforward game, but I've only made it probably like 15 days in, and that's without any kind of real YouTube help or anything like that. So yeah, and it just kind of runs on a 24-hour clock, so people only work 8 hours a day. Yeah, I'm definitely having fun with that. Been playing that on Steam on PC, so that's all I have, gentlemen. That's all I've been playing.
I'm looking for that Danger Zone 2. I'm not seeing it. I even did a search and it doesn't come up, but hopefully they'll get it added to the store. But I'm not seeing it listed.
Yeah, Ryan said next week, and I thought it was August, but I'm not sure.
Well, I see a story here about it, but they're only talking about PS4 launch, so maybe it's going there first. But I do see True Achievements has it listed. And that's an Xbox, site.
Yeah, you would think if it was coming next week, it would be on the store.
It says release date 13th July. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. So, because if they get out, I think it looks like it's going to have some stuff outdoors this time instead of being in the test track. So that'll be nice.
Yeah,
that'll be good. So
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, definitely give some more environment to it.
Exactly. So, but it is a fun game. All right, turn that back off. So, Rob, been awful quiet, my friend. But before you say anything, you can support us on Patreon by going to thisxboxlife.com/Patreon. We really appreciate all of our patrons. And with Rob and I back, we should be able to continue to do some bonus episodes out there. I think we've only got 2 so far, but then we all went on vacation and moved. So we will get that going again. Also, you can leave a one-time donation if you wish. thisxboxlife.com/donate. And you can subscribe to us on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube. All right, Rob. I know your favorite game is Fortnite, and I know you're real upset that you can't play against PlayStation gamers and whoop their butt. But you know, I don't know if you've heard the latest. Seems as if Sony is not getting involved in this and keeping the PlayStation gamers out of cross-platform games, not for their security, not for what do you call it, integrity of their network, but because they want money. They want to get paid. Sony wants to get paid. They do not want somebody to be able to buy a game on an Xbox or a Switch, Nintendo Switch, and be able to play against people on this PlayStation Network. They want money. That's what it comes down to. Former head of Sony Online Entertainment, John Smedley, has suggested a reason for the Fortnite crossplay block. It could simply come down to money. In response to a video on the crossplay block by Kinda Funny's Greg Miller, Smedley tweeted, "If we keep up the pressure, the problem goes away." Smedley then went on to claim that while he was at Sony, the historical reason for denying crossplay was stated as being financial. So, what do you guys think of that?
What, they have too much money from selling a bajillion consoles?
Yeah.
Well, they're greedy.
They are. I don't know if it's, but they do crossplay on between PC and Android, something like that. I don't know if that's Rocket League or if that's also Fortnite. But you could also buy those items on PC. So to me, it doesn't sound like money. It just sounds like, I don't know, they don't want to play nice. They just don't want to crossplay for some reason. They're just not saying what it is. The actual truth, I think.
Yeah, it's like they got some beef against Xbox because, like, hello, PC crossplay with PC is still cross-playing with Microsoft.
Yes.
And I would think if it was a beef against Microsoft, then why would you allow crossplay with PC? If it's financial, you wouldn't allow any kind of crossplay. If you did allow it and you were concerned about security of the network, I would think you'd want to be with a Switch or the Xbox because, knock on wood, their networks are probably more secure than your own, Sony.
Yes.
But they're a lot better than PC, for crying out loud. So it just doesn't make any sense. I truly believe that the execs at Sony just don't get it. And they're the top dog and they don't care, so they don't have to care, and then with the next generation of consoles comes out, and if they end up being in the losing spot, then all of a sudden they'll be wanting to do all this stuff.
Correct.
They'll they try to play it off like they're for the gamer, and they're really not. I think I don't know. Okay, so all three of us, we live in different areas of the country. Rob's out there in the Midwest, like some chump, and Henley and I are smart people and live out on the beautiful West Coast. And
I think he's smarter than you, though, because he's living in a warmer area.
He's in California. He is not smarter than me. And I'm going to get more hate mail on that one, too, I'm sure.
And a more expensive area, I would say.
Yeah. But, isn't E3, across the street from you?
Yeah, I'm not quite down in Southern California. I'm in the Bay Area, but still, probably Southern California prices.
It's all connected by highways. Come on.
So, but anyways, back to Sony. It's just, this whole thing keeps going, and I think if they keep fighting it, I think it could turn out to be a negative thing for them, especially if these types of stories turn out, they keep coming out. Um, I got nothing against Sony. I don't prefer their platform. I don't, they do got some great games on their platform, and I'm not gonna, obviously say that they don't, because that would just that'd be me being stupid. You know, if a smart person is gonna admit the truth, they got some great stuff, but they need to come to the table and do this crossplay, because Sony doesn't have to do a thing, and they've already proven it with Fortnite and Rocket League that it can be done with no need of anything from Microsoft or Sony. Microsoft and Nintendo are open for it. It's about time for Sony to get on board.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there was a cool article on Windows Central a couple days ago. It talked about crossplay, and it touched on a couple of things that I really hadn't heard discussed a whole lot before. And they said in the article that um, it says during E3 it emerged that players who had connected their PlayStation Network accounts to Fortnite were forever locked to that platform, despite being able to shift, with Switch, Xbox, PC, to roam with their progress to any device of their choosing. And backlash continued as Fallout 76 developer Bethesda revealed that it was interested in crossplay, but can you guys guess what happened?
Sony said no.
Yeah, Sony prevented it. Sony was preventing it from happening. And they closed out the article saying ultimately Sony's decision to block crossplay is a necessary financial one. If the company enables crossplay, it would remove a huge purchase incentive for millions of players who typically buy whatever console they need to play with friends. But if more and more people simply choose to avoid the PlayStation platform to ensure that they'll be able to roam to other devices in the future, Sony could end up having no choice but to relent.
But also, Rob, I just want to interject here and say, and I'm just thinking off the top of my head, couldn't Epic kind of step in and to the consumer and say, okay, we'll unlock your maybe they couldn't unlock your PS4 and kind of transfer that over to the Switch. Would that be okay? Maybe that wouldn't be okay with Nintendo or Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I carry over what I've bought from PS4, kind of unlock me from there, so I don't have to like start a new account on the Switch? Maybe that would just complicate things more on Epic's side, right? Because Epic is just going, sorry, well, that's too bad.
Well, they probably can't because of licensing and agreements with, Sony's the one that said, hey, they can't play. If they log in, it's locked to us.
Yeah.
I mean, Epic has there's no gain or any of these developers to lock to a certain platform. And they're all, seemingly from what we hear, they're all looking to having more of an open environment. It brings more gamers together. It's like, when I'm sitting there playing, I don't care what platform someone else, it never crosses my mind. Ooh, what are they playing on?
Yeah.
Who cares? I'd rather just get on instead of seeing, well, there's 1,000 players on. Well, there's 2,000 or 3,000 players on, because there's 1,000 from each network. That makes for better games, more options to meet new friends, to have new experiences, and but Sony doesn't want to play. They don't want to play in the big pool. So
that's it.
Yeah, and so I guess for developers like Epic, the issue comes down to okay, the number one platform is I think PC, and then number two is probably PlayStation, just because of in the console generations. So number two is that, and then I'm assuming three might be Xbox. I don't think Switch might necessarily be there. But when you're dealing with such huge numbers, you sort of almost have to take it. You know what I mean? It's sort of like you just have to deal with them.
Yeah, and I think also, I've heard both sides. I've heard middle of the road opinions, but one thing I haven't heard, and I've talked about this on the Horrible Gamer several times, is that I think one of the things I think it would take for Sony to really listen and come to a firm decision is from the Sony community, the gamers themselves, right? Because I know the Xbox community. I follow them on Twitter. Um, I listen to their podcasts. I follow them all. I don't know much about the Sony community, as far as, what their stance is. I'd love to hear from them, what they think, and, maybe they can raise a stink about it and just say, look, we can want to play with other people on other consoles,
Right.
Being Xbox. So, yeah, I think it would take it. That's what it would take.
Can't we all just get along?
Apparently not.
Apparently not. All right. Well, the next bit of sad news, I guess, depending on how you look at this. So, do you guys remember E3 20? What is it? What are we in? 2018. So I think it was 2016 when they. Yeah, it had to be when they announced the Scorpio, the Xbox One X. And do you guys remember a specific reveal trailer with Mr. Todd Howard talking about the Xbox One X? Specifically about VR?
Yes, I do.
So I do remember that too. And they stated that, the Xbox One X is going to allow true VR. And, we thought that we were going to see a Fallout VR experience. And, we were like, Todd said it. Well, Microsoft does not have any plans to bring virtual reality to its Xbox consoles. The company previously mentioned the plans, but never really got to see VR actually running on any Xbox One device. Plus, the company quickly corrected itself about bringing VR to the Xbox shortly before the announcement of it at E3 2017. Okay, so I guess it was last year. That can't be right. Did we just get these things last year? I guess we did, like last November, right? While Microsoft continues its investment in Windows Mixed Reality, the company recently confirmed in an interview that it is not bringing VR or mixed reality to the Xbox. Microsoft thinks PC is probably the best platform for VR and mixed reality, despite talking about wireless VR for consoles earlier. So, what do you guys think about this?
I think that Sony kind of owns that space. Whether they're successful or not, I don't know. But I mean, ultimately, I'm not sure why they just want to cut out, or not bring that. Why they didn't want to bring it to E3. I was not predicting it because there was no talk about it whatsoever. But maybe they don't see a market for it. That it's not taking off like it should be. So,
what do you think, Rob?
I don't know.
Well, about which part? About what they said back then, or what's going on
about VR? Them officially basically saying VR is not coming to Xbox. Do you care?
So, I mean, so for me personally, I don't think it matters a whole lot because other than like a Gear VR, I don't have any equipment, and I don't know if I'm ever going to anytime soon. But as far as something that Microsoft needs to do, I mean, they took some gambles in the past on the Kinect, and they really need to work their butts off to regain the market share, regain foothold in, let's say, dominance or a key player in the console wars. And then this is just if the VR thing is a flop like the Kinect, it's just going to be like, hey, this is another thing that Microsoft screwed up with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and they're a company that just drops stuff left and right like a hot potato, Zune and, well, Connect and all sorts of others, all sorts of other products,
Right.
Groove and whatever, Zune before that. And, they're all about making money. So if they're going to dump a ton of development into stuff, they need it to pay off, and they're better off just doing it into the games, really. As much as I would love to sort of see some successful and really cool VR titles, it's going to be hard to get some, like, people, I'll say, are cheap enough to not want to spend $300 on a console.
Right.
Are they going to want to buy $300 glasses or goggles to
Nope.
play with their consoles? Now, that is a different story, I think, with the PlayStation, because there's a ton of PlayStations, and a lot of people did buy the PlayStation VR, right? I mean, I thought I heard the numbers were fairly significant, sales wise on those things.
Yeah, I thought they've sold over 1 million headsets.
Yeah.
But
All right.
but
Are there
out
any,
of
like-
80 million consoles, is that a lot? I don't think that's a
Yeah.
lot.
As they recoup their cost and make a profit out of that? I mean, yeah. What's their profit margin on that, I wonder?
Yeah, and then you've also got to get developer buy-in, and are they going to, because of what happened with the Kinect? I remember we saw so many things with the Kinect, or maybe back when this was Project Natal. They showed all this stuff, like you could stand there and you're holding your gun, your virtual gun, and you're doing different things to, like, switch out parts. So, we didn't see any of that.
Right.
All we saw was the goofy, Kelflings game and the whatever those sports ones were. I forgot
Connect
what it
Sports.
was. Yeah,
Yeah,
Connect Sports. And all it was like, okay, you jump so your raft goes down the. What? No. Why do I
Lean to the
need
left,
that?
lean to the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was somewhat fun. I don't know, for a minute.
For a minute,
I was
that's
like, I'm
it.
tired.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Connect, but only for the voice commands. I still have mine hooked up and I still use it. And it kind of saddens me to think, wow, the next box won't have voice command. Like, that's going to be tough. It's like, you're taking away something I like.
Yeah.
But I can do without VR. And I honestly feel that I don't think there's a lot of VR development, even though Sony's got some stuff. My understanding is a lot of the items are short experiences. They're maybe a level in a game that has VR. I don't think there's a lot of full-on VR games outside of, was it Resident Evil 7, which, ooh,
Right.
I've
Yeah,
heard
that was
that's
the one that-
freaking scary, and I've heard that's really good. I would never do it. It's like, no way. But I do believe if Microsoft were to bring this to the Xbox, you'd see a lot more developers do it. But right now, it's like, okay, you got 1 million people on PlayStation. You've got, I don't know how many on PC, but that's it. There's a small market out there, so there's not a lot of incentive for these developers to make VR games. It has to get it has to be in a lot more people's hands before they're going to start to do it.
Mark, do you think also, and you too as well, Rob, do you think maybe they didn't show it this year because it may not run on an Xbox One or an Xbox One S and only run on an X? That's something else we didn't think about as well. And maybe next year they'll say, hey, this one will, we're going to go to the next level of Xboxes or something. This is going to be the new, not the next iteration, but
I don't think so.
something.
I think if they do it, it'll come in 2020 on the new hardware, and it'll have wireless headsets. Because I think that's a big thing too,
Right.
is the cables get in the way. They create an issue, and they want to do it like cable free. They want wireless, but you're going to have to, have some pretty beefy hardware and be able to do that. I maybe in the new set, maybe in Scarlet, we'll see that. But I think we absolutely will not see this at all on the current Xbox family. They're just maybe push it into the new stuff, or I wouldn't be surprised if it's not even there, because it still seems like a fad to me. Like motion games and
Yeah.
stuff like
One of the
that.
things I one of the things I hear from PC gamers, and again, this is just podcast, not personal, close friends. Um, and I wish Jonathan Winbush was here to actually help me with this one, but I feel that they say, well, I disconnect it and then I kind of throw it off to the side. And, where PS4 players, it's like, okay, I might disconnect a couple of wires, but, kind of leave it on the table where I can see it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just doing so much better on PlayStation than it is on PC.
Hey, Jonathan's got a biased viewpoint on it, though. He's very pro VR, and that's cool. And I hope to. We may have to get him on again sometime, especially if is the new Xbox. We get some information on it. If they're hinting at VR on that, we'll definitely have to get him back on because he had a lot of great info when he was on here before.
Yeah, and he will put up a Facebook post, which I'm very intrigued by. Him running the Unity engine, and I'm like, what's going on here? What is he? That is cool. That is very cool.
Yeah, wasn't he building his own VR game?
I believe so.
I believe that was a level in the game he was designing. I was looking at that on my phone when I was traveling, so I didn't get to really dive into it. But I was like, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. So,
yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's move to the next item. Just quick blurb on these next two that I've got. The Halo TV series is still coming, but it is going to Showtime. As we heard about this a long time ago, that it was going to be a Showtime release. Showtime has ordered, okay, if the page will stop, 10-episode season, which will be released in 2019. So if you have Showtime, you'll get to see the Halo series. If not, we'll probably have to watch it an hour later on YouTube.
Yeah, somebody will put it on there, or you can get it on one of those programs, which I can't think of the name right now, but it's even on Windows 10.
Like a Kodi or a Plex.
Yeah,
or
something like that. Yeah.
So that's coming in next year, and then also the Inside Xbox. That's a show that they do. I think they've been doing it once a month. July 10th, which is in 2 days. This Tuesday. It returns, and this will be at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Is when they go live. They're going to do some interviews with Forza Horizon 4, We Happy Few, Earthfall, latest news on Xbox Game Pass, a special story from the Xbox Live Creators Program, a couple of secrets under wraps. So that's some of the things that will be in this week. So
it'll be nice to see them not talk about that pirate game.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's what I got. How about you, Rob?
I just got a couple quick things to add. First thing is there's some rumors from where was this? This was from Express from out of the UK about we talked about this before, Elite Controller 2 is being worked on by Microsoft. Supposedly, looks like they said Windows Central also provided some info on this. It's codenamed Spider, and it'll have a couple more features compared to the first, I'll say Gen 1 Elite controller. They will be including USB-C charging, and that'll function with a locking charging dock, whatever that means. Also, there's tension control that's going to be added for the joysticks, which allows people to reconfigure how much resistance is applied to each stick. Also, they're upgrading the trigger lock available on the Elite controller, hoping to boost it to a 3-stage trigger lock system, and possibly a couple more things. So, we kind of talked about this, I don't know, a couple months back, I think, or maybe that was our E3 or the 2018 show, predicting what's coming. But looks like that this is happening, not really a huge surprise because I think the Elite controller's kind of fallen by the wayside, so it's about time they update it. And I hope they fix that goofy problem where the controller just moves up all the time, like mine did.
The drifting stick.
Yeah.
Yes. I haven't had that happen in since I've gotten the X. So I'm not sure if it is the controller because I'm using an Elite controller.
Yeah.
On my X. So
Yeah, mine
just
started.
console.
Yeah, mine started drifting on the X.
So we went reverse. Mine was on my
Yeah.
day one Xbox One, and yeah.
So we should switch controllers then, maybe.
Yeah, see if that fixes the problem.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, if you would humor me, if you get a chance this week, plug your Elite controller into your X and go into your devices and see if it needs an update. And if it doesn't, recalibrate it. And when you recalibrate it, make sure you've got it sitting on a table and don't touch it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of times. I think I've had that problem once with my regular, but I was holding it in my hand, and then it didn't quite work right. And I redid it and I set it down, and then it worked just fine. So it could be calibration is off or something, but
yeah. I mean, I remember messing with that, but I think the problem I was having was that it wouldn't do the calibration without an update or something like that. But hey, it's different times now. It's
yeah,
a couple months later, maybe
give it a shot.
I'll definitely give it a shot.
And the other helpful tip too is, I think I had to do this as well, is you may have to tinker with it. And what I mean by that is it'll come in, it'll be plugged in, and it'll say this controller's up to date. Well, unplug it from that USB port and plug it back in while you're on that same screen. And it may just be that it is updated, or it may recognize, hey, you need an update.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I'll give it a shot.
Awesome.
Actually, now that I found my Xboxes, I need to see if I can find my controller.
There you go.
Might be in the same box, probably. Okay, so Elite Controller 2. The other thing was, looks like Microsoft has reached out to some developers, and according to The Verge, they say that the mouse and keyboard support is coming later this year. So that's something that they've been talking about for quite a while. I guess they're working with Razer to enable the lighting support that's on the Razer keyboards. And so it's good news for a lot of people that at least play at a desk as opposed to a sofa. And, you can really own people or pwn people in some of these games. But I wonder how they're going to do that, just because, the controllers have a little bit of like aim assists and various other things. And, I think a lot of developers are going to have to build support in for the keyboard and maybe tone that stuff down.
Maybe by selling first-party hardware, such as the keyboard and mouse, because you can go out and buy a mouse that's, $150 and it'll do all of this in turbo mode, where, a basic one from Staples, well, I can use that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see a proprietary keyboard and mouse from Razer.
Oh, here Microsoft says Microsoft is they say Microsoft is allowing developers to detect whether a keyboard or mouse is present on the Xbox One, and games could potentially only match keyboard and mouse users with similarly equipped players. Balancing games will be down to developers, and Microsoft is offering up all the tools to ensure games can be implemented with the proper support. Also, they're going to support a variety of USB mice, including ones with wireless dongles. Bluetooth and custom mouse drivers won't be supported initially.
So maybe certain games that, like a Gears of War, or the new next Halo or something. I don't know if they go into any kind of back catalog and allow that.
Mm-hmm.
And, and also the other thing would be, me as a controller user, could I play the Call of Duty, also with somebody who's on mouse and keyboard? Would they kind of separate that, or how would that work? Or
Yeah,
even
yeah.
another great one would be Rainbow Six Siege, where it's very precise, or you can be very precise with a mouse and keyboard. So be interesting to see how that all works out.
Yep. So we shall see.
All right.
And I believe that's all I've got. Oh, and that fast start feature is so that's rolling out with the new updates here in July. And I just wanted to make mention of it. And I thought this was kind of neat because, we've had that feature for quite some time where you can start playing a game before it's fully downloaded.
Right.
I mean, I think that's been around since day one, hasn't it? Or pretty close.
Yeah.
So the thing that I like about the fast start feature is that if you go into, I think it's the queue section where you see where the download is, it actually shows you your progress of the download and where you can start playing. So it's a nice visual. Whereas I don't remember if before you could actually tell.
No, it was not there.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it just kind of like let you launch it, because I vaguely remember on this one game where it like let me launch it, but then I couldn't play it. And then I kept trying, and then finally it let me play it. So it's kind of like trial and error.
Yeah. Well, it would tell you when it was ready to start before.
Yeah.
Or ready to start.
Maybe
it was ready to bring you to the start menu to show the start icon flashing. And that's as far as you can go.
Yeah. So I thought that was a cool thing that they added.
That is pretty cool, especially if you want to play multiplayer at 12:05 a.m. in the morning and you're raring to go. So, yeah, I can see that being, I can see the fans already clapping over that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's all I've got.
All right. Here we go.
Today on this Xbox Live, get ready for some major strife. Yeah, Wingman's got 709 wins. Today is just the start. Get ready for this rant.
Okay, Rob, I saw you shaking your head, so you haven't heard me rant in a while, but I
was
have
bopping to the song.
Oh, okay.
Shaking my head.
That is a cool song.
So I'm gonna get a little rant here at one of Gunny's fellow podcast hosts from Horrible Gamers, and that's Jesus Walks a Lot. You guys were talking, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, about Crackdown 3, and Jesus was like, nobody wants this game except Wingman. I've never heard anybody come up and say, Microsoft has to make a Crackdown 3. Jesus, you have spent too much time in the Sony forums talking with the Sony ponies. You need to extradite yourself from the Sony fanboyism world and come talk to Xbox gamers and talk to those people that have played Crackdown and Crackdown 2, and they will tell you, yes, we need a Crackdown 3 because it's an awesome, fun game. So you are wrong. This game needs to be made. It needs to be great. It needs to look awesome, and I hope it will do all those things, and I hope it will release, even though it's been delayed a bajillion times. But, yes, this game needs to be made. So, in your face, Jesus.
Boom.
Mic drop. All right. So,
but I was gonna say go ahead.
No, what?
I was gonna say really quickly to defend my co-host.
We can't allow that.
We were talking about this before the show, and I said, and I had even said on the show, and I don't regret it, Mark, and that is that from what they showed at the presentation, I said, oh man, that, because it was just our quick reactions to our show during the E3 presentation. I said that it, to me, it looks like Saints Row 4, just from what they've shown, and just to kind of add more salt to that wound. But I will say that they did show more. I think it was later that day, or it was even the next day, where they showed more Crackdown 3, and it actually looked pretty good, I will say. So there was a lot more gameplay. But just from what they showed at the presentation, I didn't care for. I will say that.
I didn't either.
I guess the
it
Terry
looked a little
Crews, I
strange.
think is his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just way over, just screaming the whole time. And I thought, I love you, Terry. Great personality, but my gosh, tone it down a bit.
No.
So,
All right. Well, we'll see. Either way, it needs to be made.
yeah.
All right. Rob, you want to run us through the announcements?
Absolutely. All right. Let's see here. Okay, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you can go to thisxboxlife.com, and the right side, click on send a voicemail. You can leave us a voicemail up to, I believe, 90 seconds in length. If it needs to be longer, just send us more than one. Each time less than 90 seconds, or you can record an MP3 using your device of choice and then email it over to us at contact@thisxboxlife.com, where you can also send us questions and comments and all that other good stuff as well. We're also on Twitter at thisxboxlife.com/Twitter, or at thisxboxlife. That's our Twitter account. Facebook, you can find our Facebook group at thisxboxlife.com/Facebook. It is a closed group, which means you need to ask for acceptance into the group. You do have to answer a really difficult question, right, Mark?
2 of them.
Super difficult. Two extremely difficult questions.
It's
I say
brutal.
that sarcastically, but that helps keeps the spammers out, and it's also a closed group, which basically means nobody except people within the group see the posts. So if you're doing it at work, you won't get busted by your boss if they're in the group as well. Or no, I'm sorry, you will get busted by them if they're in the group,
Right.
but not if they're not in the group. Okay, so now on to this week's retail releases.
Okay, Rob, what you got for us today? What you got for us to play? Give us a list of games that we can buy and play. Okay, Rob.
All right, this week's retail releases. This is for the week of July 10th through the 13th. There's a couple of things here. First up on July 10th is Bomber Crew. This is available on Game Pass, and I've played this on PC. It's actually decent. It really reminds me of like a FTL style game. I think it's definitely worth playing, especially if you have Game Pass, because it's free to you while it's in the program. Also on July 10th, we have Defiance 2050, Hotel Transylvania 3, Monsters Overboard, MXGP Pro, that's a motorcycle game, Shining Resonance Refrain. Yeah, whatever that one's about, I don't know. On July 11th, which is Wednesday, we have 20XX, Ghost 1.0, Super Destronaut DX, Warhammer Vermintide 2, and that one is Xbox One X Enhanced and part of Game Pass.
Yes.
On the 13th.
I'll actually play it.
Yeah.
I played
On
the
the
beta
13th.
on that.
Yeah, me too.
On the 13th, we have Earthfall, which is not in Game Pass. Gekido, Kintaro's Revenge, Insane Robots and The Spectrum Retreat. So was what, 1, 2, it looks like 2 titles in Game Pass, and then one of this list was Xbox One X Enhanced. That was the Warhammer game. So a fair amount of games.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a fair amount of games this week. And then games with gold, we have for Xbox One, for the month of July, we have Assault Android Cactus.
I played that.
It looks interesting.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's a top-down twin-stick shooter.
Mm-hmm. And then for Xbox 360 and backwards compatibility, we have Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown. So Virtua Fighter games are usually always pretty fun, if you like that kind of stuff at least. So that's it for the games with gold. And then as usual, our announcements at the end of every show. Make sure to make any purchases on Amazon using our affiliate link. We greatly appreciate that. That's a great way to support the show. You can find those on our Facebook group page up at the top of the list, both UK and US stores. And you can also get to it through our website at thisxboxlife.com. Choose the appropriate store on there as well. If you're an iTunes user, please find the show on there. Give us a 5-star rating or review. The more of those that we get, the more we get boosted in the store. Helps more people find out about the podcast. And then also we are on Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube. Subscribe everywhere. Subscribe often on all platforms, and get your friends to subscribe as well. And we definitely appreciate it. And as always, thanks to Learned Your Lesson for the music that we use in the show. And I believe that's about it.
All right. Cool. Gunny, where can they find you?
You can find me over on Facebook. We are at the Horrible Gamers podcast community. And we are also in a closed group. And I believe we do ask 1 or 2 simple questions. I may be wrong on that because Jesus and Ryan actually do the approving. But we are a pretty decent sized community, very active. I do love the Facebook group. That's where we do a lot of, make posts. We do our gaming for Halo, and also that's where we also broadcast from. We are generally live on Saturdays. I'm going to say about 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, we haven't been doing the Mixer Twitch thing lately, only for specials like during E3, things like that. But yeah, we've just been staying live. Shout out to Ryan for doing that. It's always nice to have viewers on there. And Horrible Gamer at _Horrible Gamers is our Twitter. And I'm pretty active also on my own personal Twitter account, and that's GunnyChief. Also my gamer tag, GunnyChief, one word.
All right.
Yep.
You got anything else for us, Gunny?
I just want to thank you guys for doing those extra shows. That was a surprise, and just wanted to thank you guys for doing those.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
And we hope to get some more spun out here pretty quick. But Rob's in the middle of his move still, so we might have a slight delay, or you might just hear me this week going, "Hey, here's a bonus. It's me."
I was just a quick comment on that. So I was talking with one of my buddies that helped me move, and I told him I appreciated his help and everything, but I said, as much as it sucks to help people move, that's the easy part.
Yeah.
All you do is you lend your strength, your back, and your legs and your arms. You lend those for a day, and then you're done. The people that you helped move endure weeks of torture after
Months,
that.
Sometimes years.
Yeah.
And also, Rob, I think the first thing is as well, find a friend with a truck, right?
Yeah,
Like, who has a truck? Let me look down the list
exactly.
of friends.
Who doesn't have a bad back?
Yeah.
Strong. Who's stronger than me? Well, that's most everybody.
I have a truck. I'm stronger than you, and I don't have a bad back, but I live way too far away.
Oh, lame excuse. I know you can drive 3,000 miles, in 5 days. So
Not doing that for a long time. So, all right. Well, we thank everybody for joining us. Gunny, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it. You are welcome back anytime. I am Mark, aka Wingman 709, taking off.
and I'm Rob, also known as Presar. Thanks for listening, everybody.
And I'm Henry, also known as GunnyChief.
Oops.
I got it in there.
Oops. Say it again.
I'm Henley, also known as GunnyChief.
All right. Here, we'll try that again.